Kif l-elezzjonijiet ta' 8 ta' Ġunju resqin aktar qrib tagħna, il-kandidati għall presidenza tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea ħadu sehem f'dibattitu li fih trattaw il-politika barranija tal-Unjoni Ewropea, it-tibdil fil-klima u l-migrazzjoni. Lenti fuq id-dibattitu illum waqt Mill-Unjoni Ewropea. Min qatt kien joħlom li fl-elezzjonijiet Ewropej fuq livell Ewropew waħda mit-temi l-aktar importanti tkun il-politika barranija tal-Unjoni Ewropea. Hekk iżda qed jiġri. L-appoġġ lill-Ukrajna, l-influenza Russa u l-idea ta' sanzjonijiet tal-Unjoni Ewropea kontra Iżrael jekk dawn jagħmlu invażjoni ta' Rafah mill-art kienet diskussa f'dibattitu bejn l-ispitzekandidaten, il-kandidati primi għall presidenza tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea. Marie Agnes Strack-Zimmermann, kandidata għall-Alleanza tal-Liberali u Demokratiċi, wissiet li jekk l-Unjoni Ewropea ma tagħmilx ħafna iktar biex tgħin lill-Ukrajna, l-Ukrajna se titlef din il-gwerra u qalet li din tkun katastrofi għad-dinja kollha mhux biss għall-Ewropa.
May I disturb your discussion? You have definitely more experience in European Union. So my question, where are you the last years? I have no discussion in the European Parliament about the situation, and we have to do it now, and maybe somebody could explain me, where are you? It's nearly too late, because if we don't do more, absolutely more for Ukraine will lose this war, and this would be a catastrophe for the whole world, not only for Europe.
Dwar il-gwerra bejn Iżrael u l-Ħamas li waslet għal mewt ta' 30,000 persuna, il-maġġoranza tagħhom nisa u tfal, il-President tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea Ursula von der Leyen qalet li tkun kompletament inaċċettabbli jekk il-Prim Ministru Iżraeljan Benjamin Netanyahu jinvadi Rafah.
I'm getting tired of hearing that because, beg your pardon, but I have been 7 times in Ukraine. I've been in Bucha. I've seen the body bags. If you want to end this war, Putin just has to stop fighting. Then the war's over. And therefore, we should not turn around. We should not turn around the topic. And to you, when I look, when I see what your AfD colleagues, the lead candidates, have done. They are under investigation for being in the pocket of Putin. And if you look at the electoral program, you will see that it echoes the lies and the propaganda of the Kremlin. So clean up your house before you criticize us.
Anders Vistisen mill-Partit Identità u Demokrazija kellu kliem ibes fil-konfront tal-Parlament Ewropew fejn qal li hemm livell għoli ta' korruzzjoni.
We were seeing a high level of corruption all across the European Parliament, and nobody has been more vigorous in wanting to implement stricter rules than the ID group. And if there is a criminal case against any member of the ID group, we will take it seriously. But when there is a criminal case against the Commission President, you want to re-elect her. That's the difference between your hypocrisy and our right to rule.
Walter Bayer mill-Partit Xellugi Ewropew tkellem mill-lat personali tiegħu fejn missieru kien irnexxielu jibqa' ħaj wara l-kamp ta' konċentrament ta' Auschwitz.
My father survived Auschwitz, and I find it simply ridiculous to hear from a representative of a far-right party presenting himself as a defender against anti-Semitism. And having said this, Mrs. von der Leyen, what you say is extremely unsatisfactory. We have now 35,000 deaths in Gaza, and you tell us you will discuss with your friends what to do if, under certain circumstances, you will do this or that. Unacceptable from my point of view. For the people in Gaza, now every day is a 7th of October. We must stop this, and we want the European Union to take action and not tolerate this going on further.
Thank you.
Fil-ġimgħat li għaddew segwejna l-bdiewa jipprotestaw fi bliet ewlenin madwar l-Ewropa u anke fi Brussell. Fl-istess dibattitu tpoġġa fuq l-aġenda l-European Green Deal u l-ġejjieni tal-bdiewa. Nikola Schmidt mill-Partit tas-Soċjalisti Ewropej qal li ma jistax ikun li tieqaf l-azzjoni dwar it-tibdil fil-klima.
Well, it's climate change that goes fast, and it would be a big mistake
to slow down our fight against climate change. It's not now to introduce climate pauses, because climate doesn't pause. Now we have to be bold on what we have decided. And that's first to invest a lot in our technologies, in preventing precisely the emissions going up again. So we have to stick to our objectives. And the second one, and I think this is something which we have to address also with the citizens, it's to make climate policy socially fair and just. That means also financing in a fair and just way.
Il-President tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea Ursula von der Leyen qalet li hemm bżonn li jkomplu jiġu żviluppati teknoloġiji ġodda. Id-dibattitu kompla b'kandidati oħra jresqu l-proposti tagħhom biex issir l-azzjoni neċessarja għat-tibdil fil-klima.
So I think the argument is very clear that the whole world is looking into developing the path for the clean technologies. The United States are investing massively with the Inflation Reduction Act into clean technologies. The Gulf states, sitting on gas and fossil fuels, are investing massively in clean hydrogen because they know it is the energy for the future. China is investing in electric vehicles. So for us, it must be very clear that this is the road to go. We are the world leaders in clean technologies, but we want to stay there. And this is very convincing because this is the economy of the future, where we have to really catch up with the others and be bold with our work. And therefore, it is for me also a question of the competitiveness of the European Union to go clean and to be decarbonized.
The EU policy is only doing one thing. It's shifting jobs out of Europe. It's costing our competitiveness towards Asia, towards the US. And it's making millions of Europeans experience a level of poverty and disenfranchisement with the political elite that is represented here today.
Well, I do think that the Green Deal is not complete yet. So I think also a lot of the young voters here still demand this climate urgency. I mean, in 2019, it was Ursula von der Leyen saying, I'm going to do my Man on the Moon project. Just imagine that JFK, after 4 years, would have said, well, maybe halfway to the moon is okay as well. You know, when we are doing climate action and deliver on climate neutrality, we need to invest in a new economy. We need to be competitive, but that means an investment program that Europe is lacking. That means also investments in housing to make sure that you can live in clean, affordable houses. This means investing in public transport so that we do have finally real clean transport. The Green Deal was a good start, but we are only at the beginning of this marathon.
And I think it's an insult to all these young people, to me as well, that some people on the stage are actually saying that climate protection is not needed. You're playing with our future. You're playing with our hopes.
Waqt dibattitu tqanqlet ukoll il-migrazzjoni, il-President tal-Kummissjoni Ewropea Ursula von der Leyen iddefendiet il-Patt Ewropew tal-migrazzjoni ma' pajjiżi terzi. Qalet li ftehim ma' pajjiżi pat-Tunezija u l-Eġittu bil-investiment fl-ekonomija u s-sistema edukattiva tagħhom u ftehim li għajnu wkoll lill-Istati Ewropej.
Okay. The agreements with the third countries, for example, Tunisia or Egypt, is investing in their economy, investing in the education system to create legal, safe pathways for people to come, also for protection, but not not define the smugglers and traffickers who comes to the European Union and under what circumstances.
Thank you.
Id-dibattitu kompla bil-kandidati tal-Partit tal-Ħodor, tal-Partit tas-Soċjalisti Ewropej u tal-Alleanza Ħilsa Ewropea.
First of all, I have to say that I have a bit of a problem that the organizers have put migration in a corner of defense and security. That is, to me, a problem. But now on your question on the migration pact. We Greens are very much looking for a migration pact for real European solidarity. However, in a migration pact, you can buy it off. You just can pay money in order not to take any refugees. Children will be detained at our borders. We will lower the standards. We are basically solidifying fortress.
We know your criticism, but what would you do?
Well, as long as we are not making sure that we are standing up for our human rights and that we are really creating European solidarity, there is no European solution, and that's where we stand for.
with the only effective way that have been proven, the Australian model, to say that if you try to enter into Europe illegally, the only thing you can be certain of is that you'll have no residency here in this continent. But we can begin much easier. If you just implemented the policies of Denmark, a European Union membership country, then the number of asylum seekers in Germany would drop 90%. The number in France would drop 80%. So the only thing we need to do to solve the migration crisis is political will to do so.
Well, first, I think migration has been transformed into a toxic subject by the extreme right. It has become a major issue, always dividing our society on this topic. Second is, obviously, and I agree with Madame von der Leyen, that we have really to fight smugglers. This is clear. That's why we have to improve our measures to control our borders. Third is about the humanity and human rights, because this is fundamental. We are Europe. We are finally, the center of Europe are our human values.
Mrs. Rosberg, you wanted to...
Yeah, I find it very interesting that in this context it has not been mentioned that actually, and also the far right in this context, you don't want people to come to Europe, but you're also against one of the main reasons why people actually are coming and will be coming in greater amount in the future, and that's climate change.
Okay. Thank you very much for your answers.
Aktar spazju għad-dibattitu fuq livell Ewropew fuq temi Ewropej ikomplu waqt mill-Unjoni Ewropea fil-ġimgħat li ġejjin.